JNF is honored to present a very special guest speaker, Mr. Jason Kimelman.
Good evening. On July 28, 1990, my 17-year-old sister Marnie was enjoying the sun and some ice cream on a beach in Tel Aviv. She was in Israel on an organized tour. There were hundreds of people on the beach that day when a man-made pipe bomb, which had been buried beneath the sand, exploded and killed my sister. I don't remember much from that day, but I do remember having a perfect day at summer camp and seeing my uncle's car driving down the main road to retrieve my brother and I. I remember that our street in Toronto was barricaded and closed off to local traffic. I remember seeing politicians and other people I didn't know in my parents' kitchen. But the thing I remember most was the assurance the Israeli government gave to my parents. The government was explicit in that they would find the person responsible for Marnie's death and that he or she would never again see the light of day. A man named Yasser Hijazi accepted responsibility for the murder. He was affiliated with the Izz-ad-Din al-Qassam Brigade, which is the military wing of the Islamic fundamentalist group Hamas. A few months after the bombing, he was arrested and tried at the Yehuda military court near Jerusalem. He was sentenced to life in prison. On October 16, 2013, 23 years after my sister's death, I woke up to an email sent by a friend in Israel. It read, "Dear Jason, pursuant to the Gilad Shalit prisoner release and the list of Palestinian prisoners published last night, I checked the Israeli prison service and found that one of them is your sister's killer. He is to be released to his home in the West Bank with certain restrictions." Obviously, I was shocked and I was upset, and I felt terrible for my parents and my brother who had yet to be informed of the exchange. But as we talked it through as a family and we gave it some time to settle in, we all agreed this was and is the right thing to do. This was the only thing to do. At the end of the day, Israel had no choice but to bring Gilad home and ensure that he was safe. I have read with great interest the many articles written about the prisoner exchange. The articles continue to be written to this day. I'm quite aware of the diverging opinions, and I sincerely respect all opinions. But from my standpoint, it is clear. If my brother is in trouble and needed my help, there is nothing I wouldn't do. Nothing. People have been trying to politicize this issue. For me, this has nothing to do with politics. This is about family. Every year I go to synagogue during the high holidays, and I listen to the rabbi refer to our brothers and sisters serving in the IDF. If the members of the IDF are truly to be considered as part of our family, then this decision should not have been as polarizing as it has been. From where I stand, we are Jews, and from an early age we are all taught to do the right thing. And the right thing in this most difficult situation was to bring our brother home. After hearing about the release of Marnie's killer and the prospect of Gilad's return to his family, I began to think of Gilad's parents and what they had to endure over the 5 years of his captivity. I'll be honest, I get anxious sending my 7-year-old son to summer camp for 2 nights. Could you imagine what it must have been for his parents to know that their son was being held captive in an unknown location by monsters for 5 years? And so if my sister's death could in some small way ensure Gilad's safety and put an end to his parents' misery, of course, I support the decision. When you live in one of the most dangerous regions in the world, you are faced with unsolvable issues and devastating decisions. I would assume you would need to make decisions based solely on the best interests of your people. In this situation, I believe the government of Israel did just that. Prior to the exchange, Israel was and literally has always been on guard. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, soldiers ready to defend its borders and its people. After the prisoners were released, Israel remained on guard. Literally, nothing changed, with the exception of the fact that the members of the IDF had a renewed confidence in their government. Israel conscripts every 18-year-old to join the military, to leave their homes, their family, their friends, their schools, their dreams, to join an army that is constantly on the verge of war. This is an army where every year more and more Israeli citizens find ways to evade being drafted. Could you imagine what would have happened if the government of Israel decided to leave Gilad in the hands of those beasts? Could you imagine any Israeli teenager wanting to put their life on the line, knowing that their government would potentially turn their backs on them? Could you find any parent willing to send their child off to war, knowing that if, God forbid, their son or daughter was captured, they would be gone forever? Gilad symbolizes Israel's strength, not its weakness. Gilad is a symbol of whatever it takes. Gilad is a symbol of brotherhood and loyalty and trust. Gilad, welcome to Canada and welcome home.